December 2022, Tennessee. On a desolate riverbank, searchers discover a suitcase. Inside is the body of 22-year-old Jasmine Pace. She has been bound in steel handcuffs and brutally stabbed dozens of times. While the official investigation was still sluggishly getting off the ground, Jasmine's parents refused to just sit and wait. Declaring their own war on her killer, they literally stormed his apartment. Their most powerful weapon? The very last message Jasmine ever sent before she died. A dropped location pin texted to her mother. That single desperate tap on her phone screen was her final cry for help, and a death sentence for her executioner. Who was Jasmine Pace? Why did her life end in this bloody trap? And how exactly did modern technology unmask a sociopath? Before we dive into the details of this investigation, please take a moment to support the channel. Hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And definitely share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Your feedback means the world to us. Subscribed? Then let's begin. Jasmine Pace was the absolute center of the universe for her family. Her older sister, Gabby, recalled that Jasmine possessed a rare gift. She knew how to listen and lift people up in a way that made them truly believe things would get better. She was a student at Chattanooga State Community College, dreaming of one day building her own happy family and having children. Those closest to her called her Jazzy. She was vibrant, fiercely protective of the people she loved, and absolutely adored kids. Her two young nieces and her godson, Wyan, cherished every moment spent with her. Animals were another great passion of Jasmine's. She was constantly rescuing stray cats, and by that point, she had 4 of them, each surrounded by her endless care and devotion. Then, in November 2022, tragedy struck the Pace family. After a grueling battle with cancer, Jasmine's grandmother passed away. It was a devastating blow for Jasmine. She withdrew into herself, carrying the heavy burden of profound grief. Her family knew her personality inside and out. When dealing with pain, Jasmine needed solitude. She would occasionally go off the grid for a day or two, skip family gatherings, and just stay quiet. So, when she stopped responding shortly after, no one suspected anything was wrong. Her loved-hated assumed she was simply processing her grief in private. But tragically, this exact habit of isolating herself became the perfect cover for her killer. On Thanksgiving Day, Katrina Pace was expecting her daughter for family dinner. Jasmine had confirmed she would be there, but that morning she sent a strange text. She claimed she had suddenly left to see her friend Emma, wanting to be alone to cope with the grief of losing her grandmother. Her mother tried to be understanding, until a highly suspicious post appeared on Jasmine's Facebook page. It was a revealing photo of Jasmine with the caption, "Enjoying Thanksgiving with my baby." The modest Jasmine they knew would never have posted a picture like that. When her father, Travis Pace, scrutinized the photograph, he noticed a chilling detail. The skin on her arms was completely bare. In reality, the real Jasmine's entire right arm was covered in vibrant tattoos that she had been getting for months. The clear skin in the picture meant only one thing. The photo was old, and someone else had intentionally posted it to pose as her. Katrina immediately called her friend Emma, who dropped a bombshell. Jasmine had never planned on coming over. What's more, other friends had received similar messages asking them to leave her alone. No one had actually heard Jasmine's voice for days. All communication was strictly through suspicious text messages.
We want her home and we want her safe.
Bailey Putman is doing anything she can to try to bring her childhood friend home. Jasmine Pace hasn't been seen since November 22nd. Chattanooga police are investigating the case as a missing person.
Her mom has not an ounce of sleep. I don't think she is 8.
Jasmine was last seen here on surveillance video leaving her mom's house. They believe she was trying to leave town to grieve a recent death in the family, but they knew something went wrong when she didn't show up to Thanksgiving dinner.
And that is so very unlike her. There's not a day that they don't hear from Jasmine, let alone an hour.
Realizing that someone else was hiding behind those social media posts, the Pace family refused to wait for morning or an official investigation. Driven by a terrible gut feeling, her parents launched their own search in the dead of night. Thanks to the My Chevy app, her mother tracked Jasmine's white Chevrolet Equinox. The GPS locator showed the vehicle parked outside a residential complex on Mountain Creek Road, a place where Jasmine didn't know a soul. Her parents arrived there in the dark early hours of November 26th. Looking inside through the glass, Travis instantly spotted a glaring inconsistency. The driver's seat was pushed far back, adjusted for a tall person, even though Jasmine was only 5'2". Inside, the car was a total mess, with her belongings carelessly scattered about. It was obvious someone else had been behind the wheel. Katrina immediately dialed 911. While waiting for the patrol car, her mother requested a call log from their mobile carrier as Jasmine's line was on the family plan. An anomaly emerged. Over the past few days, not a single outgoing call had been made from Jasmine's phone. All the texts and posts had been sent in total voice silence. However, on the night of her disappearance, November 22nd, she had been on the phone with one unknown number for a staggering 71 minutes straight. When the police arrived, Katrina dialed this mysterious number right in front of the officers. A guy named Jason Chen, a computer science student Jasmine had met on Bumble, answered. Questioned by her mother, he quickly replied that he hadn't seen her in days and that their last conversation lasted just a couple of minutes.
He just lied, said that he hadn't talked to her for a few minutes Monday when she was with me at the bank. He talked to her for 71 minutes. He would remember that. He talked to her for over an hour, and he just lied.
The official phone records in Katrina's hands proved he was lying straight to their faces. Yet the patrolman's reaction was shocking. They stated that Jasmine was a legal adult with every right to go missing, and since there was no blood in the car, they had no grounds to act. The officers simply turned around and drove away, leaving the parents on that dark parking lot face to face with the lies of their only suspect. Realizing that help from the system wasn't coming, her parents opened Katrina's phone once more. They began meticulously rereading every single message, searching for anything they might have missed. Suddenly, they struck gold. At 2 a.m. on November 23rd, a text had come from Jasmine's number. It was just a location pin sent without a word or explanation. It pointed directly to 110 Tremont Street. To her parents, this felt like a desperate, silent signal from their daughter. The very next day, Katrina and Travis headed to the address, going door to door through the building. When they approached apartment 210, everything was quiet, but the neighbors shared a chilling detail. At exactly 2 a.m. on November 23rd, minute for minute with the timestamp on the dropped pin, they had heard blood-curdling screams from a woman and the sounds of a violent struggle.
The night of November the 22nd and in early hours of November the 23rd, was there an incident that you can recall?
Yes, I was woken up in the middle of the night by a loud scream.
Can you kind of take us, and you can go slowly through the events that woke you up and everything that you heard from that point until you didn't hear it?
There was a scream that startled me out of my sleep. I checked my phone to see the time because I was going to call 911. It was around 2 a.m. There was a voice that was screaming words. The words I couldn't understand fully.
Was it a male voice or female?
A female voice. And then there sounded, assuming that the apartment above mine is laid out the same as mine, there sounded like chasing, a lot of footsteps going across towards the front door.
One person's footsteps or two footsteps?
It sounded like multiple.
You said towards the front door. Was it towards the front door or towards the bedroom?
Towards the front door because I was in the bedroom when I heard it.
You had said that you heard a scream. Can you describe the scream?
Distressed. Not quite angry, emphatic.
Sources vary on exactly how the parents gained entry into the apartment, but right at the threshold, they found a notepad with Jason Chen's name on it. The very same guy who had just lied to them over the phone. Looking around, Katrina noticed Jasmine's duffel bag sitting on the kitchen counter, while Travis discovered her driver's license and credit cards hidden in a drawer. Her father intentionally laid the documents out in plain sight for future forensics teams. The entire apartment was packed with an unnatural amount of cleaning supplies, as if someone had been meticulously scrubbing away a crime scene. Yet when the police were called to the scene for a second time, they brushed off the evidence once again. The officers simply took a report and left, without even attempting to secure a warrant. Knowing that time was running out, Katrina took a desperate gamble. Throughout the evening, she repeatedly snuck back into Chen's apartment, personally taking electronics and notebooks, hoping to find any clue about her child's whereabouts. Meanwhile, Travis searched the grounds outside, peering into every single dumpster around the building. Closer to midnight, under the heavy pressure of the physical evidence the parents had gathered, the police finally returned with an official search warrant. What the forensics team uncovered instantly turned the missing persons case into a massive homicide investigation. Dark stains were spotted on the floor and in the grout lines. The bedroom carpet was heavily discolored from chemicals, and the bathroom walls were peppered with tiny droplets of blood splatter. The furniture had been rearranged, and the dust outlines clearly showed that the bed had been moved to conceal a massive stain. Resting on it was a kitchen knife. Outside in a dumpster, detectives recovered Chen's hidden blue pants and white sneakers. When the forensics team applied Blue Star and cut the lights, the entire apartment, especially the hallway, glowed with a brilliant, luminescent blue. Traces of hidden blood were everywhere. The case was officially a murder, but the ultimate question remained: where was Jasmine's body? Detectives began pulling surveillance footage from the apartment complex and surrounding businesses. The timeline reconstructed every single move Jason Chen made, minute by minute. Cameras showed Jasmine's white Chevrolet Equinox turning into the complex's parking lot shortly before midnight on November 22nd. A few hours later, the exact same vehicle drove out, but this time, a figure in a light-colored hoodie was behind the wheel. The driver left the SUV at the Signal View condominium's parking lot, walked away, got into a dark Toyota Prius, likely a rideshare, and returned to Jason's building at 8:30 a.m. on November 23rd. A neighbor's Ring doorbell camera caught Chen leaving the building multiple times that day. Remarkably, he walked out at 8:27 a.m., exactly 3 minutes before the hooded figure ditched Jasmine's car. Other trips he took yielded even more damning evidence. CCTV from a local Walmart captured Jason walking down the aisles completely alone that morning, buying bandages, hydrogen peroxide, and a massive amount of cleaning supplies. The camera angle directly over the register clearly caught his white sneakers, the very ones later recovered from the dumpster. Furthermore, at the self-checkout, he committed a petty theft, scanning expensive chemicals under the code for cheap asparagus to save a couple of dollars. It was a pathetic attempt to pinch pennies while covering up a horrific crime. Later that evening, he stopped by a Walgreens pharmacy to stock up on paper towels and more cleaning products. At 6 p.m. on November 23rd, cameras captured a critical moment. A person in that same light-colored hoodie is seen struggling immensely, dragging a massive, heavy suitcase from the apartment building toward the parking lot. The figure was literally bent double under the weight. A few minutes later, Chen's black Toyota Camry drove out of the complex and headed in an unknown direction. Detectives also tracked cell phone tower pings. Jasmine's phone had traveled to that Walmart along with Jason that morning, even though he was physically alone. Then, GPS data from the killer's phone revealed his exact route after loading the suitcase into his trunk. It led to Suck Creek Road, a winding, isolated, and desolate road running alongside the river. On December 1st, search teams arrived at that riverbank and discovered a large suitcase submerged in the water. Inside the suitcase, wrapped meticulously in multiple layers of heavy-duty plastic, was the chain on one set of cuffs was snapped, proving that she had fought for her life until her very last breath. The autopsy revealed that Jasmine had suffered multiple fatal sharp force injuries, seemingly inflicted by a kitchen knife, concentrated primarily on the upper left side of her body. Dr. Stephen Cogswell, the chief medical examiner for Hamilton County, concluded from the pattern and trajectory of the wounds that Jasmine had curled into a fetal position on the floor during the attack, trying to protect herself. The most horrifying detail was that all the bonds and handcuffs had been placed on her body while she was still fully alive. Jason had bound her before killing her, completely stealing her ability to defend herself or run away. Jason Chen was arrested on November 29th at his parents' house in Nolensville, where he had fled in a panic immediately after the crime. On his arms and legs, officers documented fresh cuts and scratches, silent evidence of the fierce, desperate struggle Jasmine had put up.
He's gonna pat you down. He's gonna place your handcuffs. Not place you in arrest. You just policy. You go to the back of the car. So you get the handcuffs. Good.
Okay. So you said there was a search warrant.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. There's a search warrant for your person. So we're Nolensville Police Department. We're gonna be detaining you and your flashing the search warrant. We're assisting Chattanooga.
Okay. And is there any like calls or anything?
They're gonna explain. That's a big thing. Yeah. We're gonna let them do that, but I don't want to speak for them. Yeah, we don't want to misinform you of anything, so they'll tell you all that when we get down there. So just take it from them. They're the lead on this. We'll let them explain it because we don't want to pile on information. We'll let them one time it all down. Okay. All right. So if you will, just face away from me. All right.
During a search of Chen's room, detectives uncovered a black backpack containing notebooks filled with cynical drafts of a cover story. The killer had meticulously rehearsed his upcoming interrogations, writing out a point-by-point fabrication, claiming that Jasmine was a mentally unstable runaway. Yet inside that very same backpack, hidden in an eyeglass case, lay a piece of irrefutable evidence, the SIM card from Jasmine's phone, which he had personally removed in an attempt to completely control her digital footprint. An analysis of Chen's own device only further exposed his sociopathy. Inside his photo gallery, investigators found a picture of Jasmine in his bathroom, taken on the night she vanished. The morning after the murder, Jason sent an old photo to the dead girl's phone with the caption, "Slept like a baby," followed later by a text asking if their dinner plans were still on. He was cold-bloodedly mimicking a conversation with a living person, manufacturing a fake alibi. The trial began in January 2025. Defense attorney Josh Weiss chose a cynical strategy. He admitted to the killing, but attempted to get the charges reduced to voluntary manslaughter in the heat of passion. The defense insisted that an argument had erupted between the two over wine and jealousy regarding dating apps, claiming Chen had merely defended himself with a kitchen knife and had bound the girl after she was already dead, strictly for transportation purposes to fit her into the suitcase. However, the prosecution methodically dismantled this narrative. Prosecutor Cody Wamp presented toxicology results showing there wasn't a single drop of alcohol in Jasmine's system, while a cyber analysis of the defendant's phone proved that his device had received absolutely no notifications from Tinder or any other dating apps that day.
Courtney was 2:11 a.m. The phone location to her mom was 2:18, 7 minutes. She screamed. Things happened. She was able to know she was in enough danger that she needed to send her mother her location. It wasn't fast. It wasn't fast at all, and we know that. 2:11 is 7 minutes from 2:18. It wasn't fast. She knew she was in danger. She tried to get out of the door, and Courtney told you that she heard a door slam. Jasmine knew she was in trouble. She had time to use her phone before he started killing her.
The ultimate proof of cruel premeditation came from the medical facts. Dr. Cogswell confirmed that during the attack, Jasmine had desperately tried to defend herself with her left hand, whereas her right arm bore absolutely no injuries. The reason was horrifying. Her right arm was physically unable to move because it had been tightly handcuffed to her own body before the very first knife strike. The restraints were an instrument to control a living victim, not a post-mortem packaging for transport.
If someone were stabbing a person 60 times, we would expect them to try to get away. But what if they can't? What if they can't because their right hand is chained to their right leg, their left leg chained to their right elbow? Makes it difficult to run. Makes it difficult to do anything. Dr. Cogswell told you that she was stabbed in the fetal position 60 times. We'd also expect that if she's being attacked on the right side of her body, that she might try to defend herself with both hands. There should be injuries on both hands. Instead, what we have are injuries to the left hand, no significant injuries to the right hand. That's consistent with her being in the fetal position with a hand unable to move on the ground. It's consistent with exactly what we see on the screen right there, her being handcuffed.
The trial lasted 6 days, with every new fact exposing darker, more sinister details. The jury learned that just hours after Jasmine's body was stuffed into the suitcase, Chen was calmly playing Call of Duty online with his friends, cynically typing in the chat that he needed to clean his room first. Furthermore, within 24 hours, he was already actively looking for new dates online. During the hearings, Jasmine's grief-stricken parents took the stand. Katrina Pace recalled the final days before her daughter's disappearance, while her father, Travis, directly exposed the defendant's lies from the witness box, recounting how they had pieced together the evidence of the crime entirely on their own. The turning point of the trial came with the display of the physical evidence. When prosecutors wheeled the massive suitcase Chen had used to hide his crime into the center of the courtroom, those in attendance could not hold back their emotions. The defendant himself sat with a completely stone-faced, indifferent expression.
This is the suitcase in which Jason Chen stuffed the 98-pound body of Jasmine Pace. That's where I'm going to begin this story. Except I want you to remember that as you hear evidence in the next week, that this is not a story like the one that you read in a novel where you have to imagine the appearances of characters. The evidence that you will hear in this case is very real. The evidence will not require that you use your imagination. Jasmine Pace was very real. And Jason Chen really killed her.
The verdict was uncompromising. Life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge emphasized that the sheer brutality and prolonged suffering of the victim went far beyond the act of taking a life. Jason Chen received a one-way ticket and will die behind bars.
With respect to the sentence of the defendant, Jason Chen, on count 1 of presentment 315228, we, the jury, do unanimously find the following statutory aggravating circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt, in that the murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, and that it involved torture or serious physical abuse beyond that necessary to produce death, and do unanimously agree that the defendant's sentence shall be life imprisonment without possibility of parole.
Looking back at this case, one thing becomes undeniable. If Jasmine's parents had blindly trusted the initial negligence of the police, who insisted that an adult has the right to just disappear, this murder would never have been solved. A mother had to personally storm her daughter's killer's apartment, gather evidence, and take his electronics. These parents moved mountains and tore justice from the hands of a broken bureaucracy, building an ironclad case for court. But the most important thing Jasmine left behind is the memory of how incredible she truly was. After the trial concluded, everyone who loved her gathered together, lighting hundreds of candles around her smiling photographs to forever preserve the light she radiated.
There's a moment when you're with her, you realized how clever, how smart, how brilliant she was.
Knowing how many lives that she touched and them spreading the word on my sister, I think it also touched other people's hearts that have probably gone through a situation like this.
I've known her my entire life, and I've never seen her burn a bridge or have ends with someone badly.
She just always made it a point to know, for you to know, that she was thinking of you and that she loved you. She was fierce over her family. She was fierce over her friends.
She deserved a long, beautiful future filled with the laughter of children, the comfort of a home, and the love she so generously gave to others. Her life was cut short far too early, tragically and unfairly. But thanks to the fierce, unyielding love of her parents, her honorable name was protected from lies and slander. Jasmine Pace did not remain a faceless number in a true crime chronicle, but a pure, bright light that will forever live on in the hearts of those who loved her.